So we're 1955, and we're gonna play another game. We get black against Thresh Beast, 1871 from Canada. We'll go for a Caro Kann. He wants the exchange Caro Kann. I'm gonna develop my knight, play a6, develop my bishop, play e6, develop my other bishop, castle, rook here, and then we'll see. Got all that? Mm, Let me just bring my knight out. Like I said, I'm just thinking if this works, but okay. Let us develop the bishop. No. Do we? If I develop the bishop and he goes queen here, I guess I could just take the knight. And even if he did take here, mm, what would I do? Maybe just queen here. I'm gonna develop my bishop. Who knows? Can't be that bad, right? Okay, he develops his bishop, targets my knight. Okay, which is not currently pinned. It also undefends this pawn. Queen here. Otherwise, there's this move, which looks the best. I'm just gonna play it. Okay, he develops this knight so that now he could swing his queen out. Fine. If I provoke his bishop, just to see what it's gonna do, but then it could end up here. I could go queen c7 and cover that square. Then I have to play that pawn structure. I can develop my bishop here. That looks sensible. I think I'm just gonna go with easy moves. I could have developed it here. But now I break the pin. He attacks my bishop. Okay. I can take the knight, or I can retreat here. If I retreat and he pushes and I go here, that looks fine for me. So I'm going to just keep the pin as such. And if he wants to attack me, I don't mind going here because I didn't play h6. If I had played h6, then I would have taken, because I won't have this square. I mean, I would have it, but after takes, my pawns are ruined. Okay, so he goes here creating the battery, but now his queen is on the c file. So rook c8 is always going to be a move, but right now, what's he doing with this? He might castle long. He's getting out of the pin to jump in. I'm thinking if I put my rook here, that's a solid move. And if he goes here, I can do this. Hitting his queen. His queen can move here, check, hitting my knight. My knight can go back, then his knight can take, pawn takes, queen takes, and I will have traded the A pawn for the D pawn. Okay. There's also bishop here first, which is kind of nice. I can also castle. No, I can't castle. That's the point of this as well. Because I lose the h7 pawn after he takes the knight. This looks like a good move to challenge the light squares and his bishop. I do want to definitely put a rook here so I could have knight jump. And castling because, okay, he trades the bishop for that bishop. Okay, I don't mind that trade. Now I have this square for pieces, which can come in handy maybe at some point. But first order of business, okay, he gains some space. Now I'm definitely thinking here, he also took away that square for the queen checks. So now I'm really thinking here, alignment issues gives me this opportunity, which doesn't come in handy right away. If he moves this knight, this pawn's hanging though. And this is still annoying for him because I could always throw it in at some point. I think my position's fine. Structure seems fine. He moves his queen out of the rook file and he attacks a pawn. I think this is the standard response. And if his queen gives a check, okay, he's hitting this pawn. But if I just castle and he takes it, what's a good move here? Okay, he's hitting the, let's be basic, he's hitting the pawn. So let's say something like this. Maybe he throws a knight in, but my queen here looks good. It's a developing move, I think. This, if he trades, is this any good? Probably not. I can also push this pawn one. One, what does that do? I don't really like that. I kind of like this. It's kind of a developing move, kind of protects, kind of doubles, kind of gets out of this. Most of that doesn't matter, but it seems like an okay square. Eventually maybe he'll have ideas like this, but I'm trying to get ideas like this. Yeah, and I don't have b5, but I can hit the queen. And on this, I could even move my king, just move my king over. Oh wait, on this, yeah. And if he pushes, if I throw this in now, he has to do something. And when he's done with that something, his knight can take, he can hit it again. And I can protect it, but what's the point of all that? What's the point of all of that? could go here, and on here, I hit the queen. Queen goes somewhere. Then I take the pawn. If he takes the pawn, I take the pawn. If he takes the pawn, I take the pawn. If he takes the pawn, I take the pawn. I don't know why I kept saying pawn, but you know what I mean. A6. I said it in another video. Always the most useful move. Okay, now I could throw this in first and plant my knight. Thank goodness. I really didn't want to have to deal with this. But I think now, wherever he moves his queen, I plant my knight. And if he takes, I put my queen. If he takes my queen, I plant a rook. Hit this pawn. If he kicks it, I still got to deal with it. Unless I can get b5 in somehow. I also got castles, which doesn't seem necessary yet. I'm still looking at knight jumps at some point. Trade. But I don't see the point of all that. b5 now doesn't do anything. This looks the most logical. It looks the most logical. I'm expecting this. But then b5. And then takes. Okay, and then I thought double on the knight, but he doesn't go for any of this. He moves his queen backwards, back home. Okay. So that he always can kick me. But I still, if I get in b5, now he gave me kind of time for b5. I think that's bad for him to do. So I'm just going to go for it, because if I can solidify this so that I he can't ever push. Like maybe I can't keep a piece here because he does whatever, but as long as he can never push this, it'll be weak if he kicks something. So b5, having one pawn is not enough. Having two pawns can kind of make sure he can't push, because I'll take with a pawn or a piece depending. How long am I going to be live? Just for a couple games, but enjoy your session, club. Don't do anything too heavy. Okay, so he chucks the knight in. That makes a lot of sense. What was that? Okay. It's an interesting position. He didn't take. I don't want to take. And if I throw a knight in here and he takes, I would be forced to take with a pawn. But then this pawn's weak. I can target that. Alternatives, I can try to get rid of this knight by going here. He'll probably trade bishops or queen somewhere here. Now he can't move the queen because I'll take a knight and a pawn. So if I go back and he takes and I take and he takes and I take or take some way I take, and then I can also just threaten to take the knight with the bishop because there's no pin, which is always nice. Actually, moving this knight also threatens a fork, kinda. So many options, I don't know what to do. Oh, okay, I don't want to run out of time. I don't want to lose like that. So if I go here, which looks normal, and he takes it, I can just take with the pawn. But I feel like that's the wrong way to play. I don't know why. Why do I feel that? I also feel like moving this knight has some merit. Takes, takes. That pawn looks super loose. And if I bring it back, again, takes, takes. Here, here, here. I really don't know what to do. So it's this or this are my moves that I'm gonna do. Um, and if here, here, then I can trade. I'm gonna go here. I don't know if it's right. Moving backwards, it's a little fishy. Maybe I could take this. And if he moves the bishop somewhere, or wherever safe, then I can move my knight back. I can move my knight here, but this leads, hits the rook. Rook moves to defend the pawn, and then it leads. I do have this square. Mm, let's do this. He brings his other knight in, which blocks his queen's path, which is nice. I'm also not going to take his knight to replace it, but I am going to go here because now that he only has one knight defending this square, I can take back with the queen. And it comes with an attack. Okay, so now I can take with the queen. And if he ever throws another knight in here, I can take it. Now I'm threatening to win this pawn. Now I'm not threatening to win this pawn. But now this is weak. So I should just go back here. So I have open dark squares diagonal. Okay. This is why I wanted b5 here, so he couldn't push. But now my queen's in the way of my rooks. My rook needs to attack this pawn, not my queen. So let me add pressure from the side. Double attack. And this knight can reroute here, or it can contest the knight here. Maybe I should put it here and attack since he has the weakness. I'm already like kind of ahead. Oh, I gotta watch out. I'm in a pin. So these squares are all legit. He defends the pawn with the queen. Okay, now this looks even better. I also have another rook I need to get in the game. I can double. This just comes with like a winning attack, so he has to address that. So let's go here and improve, because his knight here doesn't do anything by itself. And if he ever attacks my queen, I could just take the pawn. Maybe he'll go here, but then this square is really weak. This looks hard to stop. I guess he can do this. That is an idea. So he does do this to take pressure off of this and allow rook to slide. So I got to be careful with my moves. I mean, if I go up, it's because I'm trying to go here. It's a little dodgy. I think this makes the most sense. What else? There's also this. There's also, I mean, this makes the most sense. And this I can always counter because they're connected. And I'm going to try to win by attacking this weakness in the next 4 minutes and 40 seconds. He still has to deal with this. Although I didn't realize my queen. Yeah, maybe I should have done this, but then he attacks it twice, and then it has only here, so it's the same thing. Yeah. Even if I take with the knight, my queen's still pinned though. If I could trade knights, maybe I should have left it here, but if I could trade knights and then plant a heavy piece here, that's what I'm going for. Plant the queen here, double the rooks here. That's the position I'm looking for with no knights. Or my knight here. If my knight's here, fine. And he doesn't know how to deal with this right now. He's thinking. He's stressing out. I don't know how he should deal with it. So, better him than me though, right? The reason a heavy piece here is no good now is because his knight can kick it at some point. It's very annoying. So I don't need to occupy it. I just need to stop him from pushing, which these pawns do. So my position looks good. It's exactly what you want from a Caro Kann exchange. Go for some type of minority attack over here. And that's what we got. In one of these three files, we have a weak backwards pawn, a hole, and we're going to try to take advantage of that. On the other hand, this square is a little accessible for my opponent. Not that it does anything crazy. And then this guy's kind of just chilling by himself. He could need protection at some point. But yeah, this looks good. I mean, you'd want to be able to play f3, but your knight's there. If you jump your knight in, you're still getting hit with tempo, so you don't have time for f3 yet. You still got to move your queen, and then you're like, wait a second, can he take this pawn? So like if his queen is here, and my knight's here, and I take, and he tries to double, let's say. Now if I move my knight, my queen hangs. If I move my queen, my knight hangs. And if I move my queen up, and he doubles, actually no, I think the only way I can get out of that, okay, so let's say I go here, he goes here. I take the pawn. He tries to double. I go check. If he takes, oh, he could actually take the knight with the rook and defend this rook, so it's not hanging. My tactic doesn't work. He could probably also ignore. No, no, because the rook's hanging. So here, I don't even know if I'm threatening to take the pawn with my queen in front. I have like a 1, 2, 3 move plan, or a 1, 2, 3 move plan, or a 1, 2, 3 move. So it'll take 3 moves to triple up, no matter how you swing it. 3 moves, 3 moves. What else? I could also do this maneuver. Kind of funky, but he can only just immediately challenge that square. This rook has Okay. So he's defending it this way. I didn't even consider this. Again, I hit the queen. I assume he's just going to go somewhere. And the pawn is not actually hanging. Let's say he goes here, right? Pawn's not hanging. But I feel like my knight needs to go there anyway. Yeah. I, I don't know. I might have, if I can't win this pawn, maybe I have to use the open file. Maybe I should just triple. Let's play this and see what he does. Huh. I mean, my position's better than his, but now I have to play somewhat accurately to take advantage. He has weak stuff on the C file, and there's an open A file. So I feel like between the two of those, I need to do something. I need to involve my H rook. This undefends the pawn though. What? This undefends the pawn. What? I need to get my queen out of here. Is this even, what is this? What is this move? Does this do anything? Probably not. And if I put my queen somewhere else, it might. So let's go here and double our rooks on the C file. I was seeing if there's any king attacks, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah, let's play. Oh, I see. He's attacking my pawn. Oof. And if I go here, and he trades, and I trade, and he goes knight in, and I just go knight back, he still can't push. I kind of like that for me. Only because I'm low on time, I guess I'll get rid of the queens if I can. Because with 3 minutes, oh, he doesn't want to trade. Yikes. And now if I move my rook up, I trap my own queen. I can go here. Can go here, but those don't really look good. I'm gonna go back. That seems like such a waste then. Hmm. It's just that if he would have went here, my queen doesn't have squares. So if I double, I would have trapped my own queen. Well, I could have gone here, but what's up, Alperzen? How did I get to 1955? One game at a time. Very slowly. Over the years. Just making tons and tons of mistakes. Blunder after blunder after blunder. Innumerable blunders. Inconceivably bad moves. Like the ones I've been making recently. And then just making slightly better moves after that. How many years? I don't know. I do have no idea. There's no way to calculate that. This takes it's not, I mean, that doesn't look good. Well, now's my chance to take that knight, that pesky knight. I'm gonna just take it off the board because I said I wanted to get rid of it and plant a heavy piece in here now. That was my plan, and I think This actually loses the game. That's funny. I'm gonna go here, and then I'm just gonna put both rooks here and here. I don't know, and a rook, maybe a rook here with the queen. And we'll just see what we can do. Trade stuff and just pressure this pawn. It's only one weakness, so if everything gets traded and his king comes here to defend, probably not winning, but at least I'm fighting for this, and he's not really fighting for this. So you've been playing for 4 years. That's pretty cool. What openings do you play? Or what openings do you like anyway? I only have 2 minutes, and he's got 7 minutes. I still gotta remember this pawn because of the pin. I also can't give him access to lateral stuff. What is happening? What is what is he gonna do? What is he thinking? I'm gonna take the open file. That seems quite reasonable. Threatening this as well, followed by the second rook. So doubling with tempo. He moves the queen out of the way and puts it on light squares. Maybe, but that undefends this pawn. So I'm gonna attack it due to time. He comes here, attacking this. So, this, he still doesn't have it. And he defends this pawn. Cool. This is not hanging yet. And sacks don't work yet. So I have one move to move my rook over here. I hope I'm not blundering something in this position. And now I have time to move my, well, if I move my king, this pawn hangs. I kind of wanted to get out of the pins, but you really can't now. It's a little late for that. I have to kind of watch these pawns. So maybe queen back here. Okay, so he goes for the dark square, which I'm happy to see he's on dark squares, because I feel like my light squares are dangerous. Maybe he wants to take here, here, something like take with the queen. It's all a little sus. I'm gonna pin his rook so I can guarantee one rook trade, so that he can't sack stuff, because he'll only have these two pieces to sack. This is a little dangerous. I'm not comfortable with a minute on my clock defending all the various sacrifices. So, I mean, he still could temporarily sacrifice. But after I do this, his rook is still pinned. Any checks don't really matter, and his rook can't join. It can only trade, but I get the check. And also my queen can come back if yeah. Italian, you only play Italian, and you play it as long as your opponents allow. Okay. Is that because that's just what you learned? Like that's the first opening you learned and you stuck with it, or you tried all the openings, you just don't like the other ones? Okay, but now what if I go here? He doesn't have a follow-up check, and I don't see any sacrifices, and I'm not in a pin anymore. And I'm going to take his rook next. And I have to remember I have this check. What? This is funny. You never played other openings? Yeah, not playing other openings. Um, what was I gonna say? I completely forgot my train of thought. Hold on. It's because I have less than a minute. Oh, wait 1 second. Yeah, not playing other openings is like nice because you know you're opening, and then when you switch and try new ones, you start losing lots of games because you don't actually understand the openings or the middle games. But it is fun to learn new openings, and it's fun to try them. And who cares about the rating really? Now I know this guy mouse slipped, and that sucks. However, not my problem, is it? This guy's problem. I'm gonna take his rating. If he doesn't like it, be more careful with your mouse. And I have nothing. What is happening? Why does it still feel like I'm the one under attack? Okay, I have 20 seconds. I'm up a rook. Let's not throw the game. Let's not throw the game. I wish my queen had access to these squares. But this. Yeah, maybe that works too. Maybe I should have just done that. Well, how does he defend this? He can move the queen back. That actually hits this pawn. He puts the rook there. Okay. 16, 15, 14, 13. Oh, how am I so bad at this? 18 seconds. Let's go. Okay, he's going for the mega checks. I'm gonna go here. That way on check, I go here. He can win a pawn, and then he actually threatens this. Oh my god. Oh no, I could block the check. Woof. Queen c4 when I set it. Yeah, queen c4, but now I'm in defense mode with these pieces. It's so weird that I have to try to defend. It's just because it's probably not even scary, but with 20 seconds, I can't calculate all of his possible moves, and I don't want to blunder some type of like. Now he has to move his queen back, and then I have time to like. Okay, but now he's not threatening anything. Here, and if I double, I can try to move my king. Kind of, not really. I can cop out and trade rooks actually, but that's like a draw. That's so bad. I'm just gonna do it. Fuck it. Now I'm up a pawn. No longer a rook. But I have 30 seconds. That's nice. I gave him his rook back. You see what a kind person I am? It has nothing to do with not being able how to figure out how to win up a rook. I promise. Let's be honest. let's go here, and then let's go here. I'm thinking let's go here first. So we have this access, this coming on check. Just keep the pressure over here while defending my own weakness. Watch out for any checks and uh, perpetual checks. Yeah, my rooks definitely should have just stayed there, but it's okay. Now we can try to win this position. How fun. And on here, check. He's not gonna let me walk away, is he? Fool. Maybe now here. Maybe now here. Let's see what he does on this. Does queen here do anything? Not really. I guess here pressures both pawns, so that's a move. Queen here's a move. Maybe e5's a move. I mean, after the queen shot. Okay, so now he covers all those squares I mentioned, except this one. E5 takes. And he still can give it a check. Maybe now I can hide my king here for a second. It's hard to say. Actually, on this check, oh no, he doesn't have this square. 27 seconds is kind of hard to come up with some plan. But after takes, maybe I'm gonna sneak attack. Oh no, I'm in check. I thought I could check and take, but I can't. So check. If I take with a pawn and his queen gets here, that's dodgy. But then I get the queen trade. Also looks dodgy. If he takes here and I take with the king, he has checks. That just looks not good. So here, if he goes here, threatening maybe to take the pawn with check. I don't know, check. He goes king somewhere. I stick my queen in here. He gives me a check. I protect. He gives me some sundial checks. I can't really escape it. Maybe taking with the king is right, and after the... Oh, what? Can he do that? I don't know. Something about his move looks wrong, and I can't calculate because I'm running out of time. This forces this. Okay, it doesn't, but that looks even more wrong. What am I missing? What am I missing? Here threatens mate. Here threatens mate. He has no checks. It's a pass pawn. I have 16 seconds. How am I not higher rated? Because I'm self-taught, so the things I'm thinking about make no sense. Because it's random, it's not guided. When I'm making these decisions, well, now I have no time, so I'm just kind of doing random stuff, but even if I had time, like, yeah, I make this decision, but doesn't mean I understand if it's good or bad, because no one's telling me and I'm just trying to guess. But I always run into time trouble because I think so much. So he defends the mate. Okay. I have 5 seconds, so Can I get my king in this way? Oh, that might have been a brilliant plan. I was about to push my pawns, but this king march is crazy. This king march is crazy. This zugzwang, right? Oof. You gotta be shitting me. Oh, wait, what? Hold on. If he did this, and I take here, and he pushes, and I push, and he pushes, and I push, and he stops me, my king is not in the square. What am I missing? Um, Wait, whose move is it? It's my move, right? So let's just say if I take this pawn and he pushes, if I take with this pawn, he gets a runner on the outside. But let's calculate it. He pushes, I run. He pushes, I run. He stops me. I give him a check. He takes me, I go here, he stops me again. And if it's the opposite way, this, or is it because if I take now, whatever, let me just do a game review and I'll get to this point. He resigned, but I only had like 10 seconds to figure all that out. If you look at the graph, it was a completely even game. Then he mouse slipped. Then I gave the rook back. Slightly better. Won from there. So let's start the review. Okay, this is all book stuff apparently. Let's keep going. Okay, so this was all good. I was um, thinking that this is probably not the best moving it back. It was a little weird, especially bringing my king up. Castling makes a lot of sense. Yeah, if my rooks were connected earlier, that would have been very helpful in a lot of situations. Yeah, free rook, awesome. Okay, so this was obviously a blunder. I knew I was giving the rook back with this move, obviously. So right now he is threatening nothing other than a queen check. If I move my king, he can take this pawn. But I'm up a rook. So actually, this is probably perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't do that. So anyway, I did this because I'm a good Samaritan. But I lost my winning advantage by moving my king up. Probably because this move is strong. Yeah, I saw it after. So, okay, cool. So that was a pretty good game, actually. Wait, what did they say? I played 88%, 2250. I like that. That's a decent rating. Now let me go move by move real quick. Okay. Yes, I know about bishop d6, but that's fine. In this position, my move's fine. In this position, I like my move. In this position, okay, so queen c7 castle. Castle, huh? And on castle takes, they say rook b8. What? I thought he takes the knight. Queen is queen is trapped, and you have to. Oh my god. Okay, well I didn't do that. I did a normal thing like defend the pawn. A6, clever and best. Boom. Should have just castled and then played this move. No reason to not have my rooks connected before I start this whole commotion. Yep, and this again, I need to castle. What am I doing? The other move I considered, aside from this, was this. They also say that's fine. I'm curious if he takes. I have to take with a pawn, and then you just, I guess, play this. I thought this was fine, but like it shows, it's even. Everything's even, but I was trying to play against the C pawn instead of the B pawn for whatever reason. I thought I could throw the knight in and take it, but I figured when he moves his back somewhere that I don't have any particularly good knight jumps. I could go here. I don't know. It seems dubious. Computer likes it, but I guess the advantage would be you don't have to move your king. I see. So he goes here. I threw my knight in. They like trading knights. Oh, yeah. I thought I would be doing him a favor, but at the end of the day, it turned out I wanted to get rid of as many knights hitting the square so I could put a heavy piece. So trading the knights is actually what I want. And if I take this and he takes and I jump in, now I'm immediately getting all the knights off. Yeah. Haha. So I jump in first and he took. They still want me to take with the B pawn and play on the B file where he has a backward pawn there. I was trying to play off of the C4 square. But it's not exactly a backwards pawn, and I'm not exactly minority attacking. So I was playing just for this square. They're saying it's fine and nearly the same, but this is another option to play against an actual backwards pawn and potentially weak pawn. That makes sense. I still kind of like putting a piece there, if I'm being totally honest. And we go back. These moves are fine. I like my move. Now here, rook a8. Here I tried to get my knight here, thinking it was better placed. I still believe it is better placed. So in their line, rook a8, queen g5 check, knight f6, knight e5, rook h c8. Okay, so they just basically they put the knight here and they just move the rooks like this. So like best squares for your piece type of thing. So I did this first, which I don't see what the difference is because if they're going to give knight e5 as white's move, it's the same thing. Anyway, he does this, so I go back. This all looks good. Still even, although I feel like black might be easier to play. I jumped the knight in, which I can't see any downside to. And now I did have this square as an option, which is always nice because it gives you, it's just a really strong square for knights. I like it anyway. Alternatives, throw the queen in c4 or go rook a8. I threw the queen in. He dodged it. And I came back because I didn't want to lose my queen. He went there instead of jumping in. I was happy to trade because I can now stick a piece in here. The other options was getting the king out of that file, which gave me so much trouble. They're saying king d6 I don't like for obvious reasons. King d7, just got to watch for this pawn. Yeah, I definitely should have castled. This game would have been so much easier if I didn't have to deal with this. So my move's fine. He doubles up. I take the open file. I come in. I double. And now I have to just be accurate. I should have just gone King F8. I see. Yeah, King F8 because none of the sacks make any sense because there's no pin. And this check just puts me in safety. Huh. I like it. But instead I secured a trade. Also makes sense. He gives me a check. I just step to the side. He blunders his rook. I take it. I check him. And now rook here looks good. Queen here looks good because this is a mating piece. This is fine. I wonder what their follow-up would be on here. Rook h2. Rook f1. Are they just trying to double on this pawn? So, so once they're here, now they're just slowly creeping down so they can attack this way. That's insane. Rook c1, that makes sense to me. The other two are friggin' weird. Can you imagine? And he defends it and then what? Rook c1's kind of natural though. I like that move. And if you don't go for the immediate checks, which I didn't, you got queen c4 and my move, rook a2. He defends. I defend. He attacks. Rook a1. Oh, a1, yeah. Go back to threaten the... But isn't this annoying for me? I guess... So if I go here and he goes check, and I go here and he takes and he's threatening this. But now his rook is here, so that's mate. That's right. He has no escape square once this happens. Okay, so this is all fine. Again, I had mate patterns here. So I'm just wasting time. F6 is a move. I didn't even look at F6. King D7 I looked at first in my head for a second and it makes sense. But I didn't do it. And for some reason, instead of giving up a pawn, I'm like, you know what? Let's give up a rook. Shit. So I gave up a rook. Yep, it wants me to get these squares early. I missed this. I missed this. Again, getting in his face. So it kind of restricts his breathing room, so to speak. And now here e5 is the move. I got it. If he takes, how do they want you to take? King. Ah, I had a feeling that this was a perpetual. Queen f2. Yeah, wait. Yeah, it's the same perpetual. They just get behind. And I thought that after here, you can take with the queen. Other checks, you can block with the queen. And it's check. So he doesn't have checks. He doesn't have checks that aren't queen trades. That's insane. It looks so exposed. It looks like it can be checked from a million squares. And everyone's a queen trade. That's kind of cool. Yeah, this just looked wrong. This is like, why are you moving your king up when there's queens on the board like that? So I got the best move. Boom. I figured if I gave this check, he can go backwards. But if I gave this check first, he has to go forwards. I actually didn't even see this. I thought this was the only square. Oh well. So now e4 is the makes sense. The other moves don't. He has to stop checkmate in one. Now I could try weird checks, but I don't see the point, so I trade. And now this is a winning endgame, but you have to know how. Technically, you can leave your king here and take all the time in the world to try to push these with just a little assistance from the king. But I was worried that if I got my king too far away, he can get a passer that I can't reach. Meanwhile, my passer, he can reach. So let's see how this plays out. So I come up with the crazy plan. Boom. And he resigns. So moves here. I can take the pawn or f5. Now f5, what does f5 threaten? So like, let's say king f2. No. I wish he had a passing move. Can we triangulate somehow? No, but what's the idea? King f2. Yeah, but here the king defends it. So is it a zugzwang thing? So that's why f5 works. So what if he did this, and then I go f5, and then he goes here, triangulate. Then it wants me to take the pawn or go g5. Okay, so basically it comes down to what happens if I take the pawn and what happens if he goes c4. Okay, b takes is -7. D takes is -3. Now intuitively, I had that in reverse. I thought taking with this pawn, although keeping this structure winning, would make the outside pass pawn impossible to reach with my king. But I must be queening with my passers and my king first or something. So if I take with the d pawn, his natural response should be to queen, and if I push, his natural response is to queen. I have to push. Of course, he has to stop me. Natural is to get the queen to deflect the king. And when I go for this queen, he can go for a queen. And if I go for this queen, he goes for it, but then I can protect it. And when he gets a queen, mine comes with check. And then somehow I'm going to trade the queens. And that's if I take with the wrong pawn. That comes down tempo by tempo. That's a nightmare. If I take with the right pawn, and then he pushes naturally, the key is not c3 because you kind of end up in the same situation probably. The key is f5 because your king protects this push. But it still starts from behind. But the check gives it one tempo. And then you probably have checkmate patterns here. So let's push the wrong pawn. And let's get him to go. And then let's get him to stop it, right? Now if we just do this, he takes here, here, here. He queens with check and we lose. So if you give this check first and he takes, and then here his king stops it again. Oops, again you can protect it. Here this comes with check. So you're back in that situation. So if you go here and you pushes and you f5, boom, this is a check. So where is he gonna go? If he stays here, he's gonna get checked again with tempo. So he goes away. But now like everything probably wins. This one, this one, this one. Maybe not this one. Well, now I have to give him a check. Queen here. No more checks. But then I get a queen. Ugh. Gross. Gotta be cleaner than that. It's gotta be check, deflect, boom, boom. Here. Oh, he could still queen me check. That's so annoying. So what's the best way? E3. E3. King stops it. But what's the point of king stopping it? Oh, I see. You leave this here so there's no check. So when you go here, he has to stop it. You move your king. I see. So it never works with the F pawn. Or it works move by move because of the check. Okay, good analysis. That was tricky. But a good game overall. Solid. Took down at 1865. Okay, sweet. We just bumped our rating by, where's the game? By 6. 1961.